Ever since AI became accessible to regular people through text prediction models, mainly ChatGPT, there's been a noticeable shift in coding content. And not just in short form videos, but especially in long format content. Long tutorials and full courses are the ones being hit the hardest. And honestly, that sucks. A lot of people simply aren't investing the time anymore to sit through long courses or tutorials. The boring part, trying to make sense of terms, concepts, and creating those mental models. That part is being skipped. And while that might feel harmless, it does impact software developers and eventually the products that we build. Have you noticed how much new software feels bad lately? I mean, Windows 11, newer Linux distribution updates, modern video games, it's like filled with bugs, performance issues, broken features, poor optimization, and it's everywhere. And I genuinely believe this trend is going to get worse. Why? Because the most boring but most important part of programming, the part where you sit down and watch someone explain a concept, you struggle through it, and then apply it yourself, is slowly dying, or maybe rapidly dying, depending on how you see it. What's happening now, and I'm absolutely guilty of this too, is that when we encounter a new problem, instead of thinking it through, like mapping out a solution, understanding the tools or framework or the language gives us that we're working with, we just throw the problem to ChatGPT. Most of the time it works, sometimes it doesn't, but even when it's not perfect, it's often good enough. And that's the really dangerous part. Because when quote unquote good enough becomes the default, we get complacent, which complacency leads to mediocrity over time, which results in mediocre products like Windows 11. So, what's the solution? There isn't a clean one size fits all answer. I see this less as a technical problem and more as a behavioral tendency that a lot of developers, including myself, are falling into. That said, there are a couple of things that have genuinely helped me. I only want to give you two tips because the more tips slash rules you add or try to follow, the less likely anyone is to actually follow them. The first tip is to always be enrolled in only one course or tutorial, no more, no less. Platforms like Udemy, Coursera, and even YouTube make it so easy to start learning. You buy a course on sale, you bookmark a 12-hour YouTube tutorial, then you start strong, and then 2 weeks later, you're enrolled in 3 courses and halfway through 2 tutorials, in which nothing really gets finished. That's why I strongly believe you should only ever be actively following one course or tutorial at a time. When you feel motivated to code, there should be exactly one place you go. One course, one tutorial, no decisions, like no bouncing around. And until that course is finished, don't buy another one, don't start another YouTube tutorial, and it is as simple as that. Then second, and I don't think this one is as important as the first one, but it is to use a time management app. This one sounds quite boring, but it really works. Personally, I use Google Calendar. I track work hours, non-work related meetings and appointments, but most importantly, I block time for learning. Specifically, I have a reoccurring event every week called quote unquote project building or course progression. It's 1 hour, 4 times a week, and that's it. It's 4 hours total per week. Will 4 hours a week turn you into Steve Jobs? Obviously not. But if you have a job, responsibilities, and in life, this is a realistic way to move forward slowly but consistently. And consistency is what actually compounds over time. I wanted to include more tips, but honestly, the more things you have to remember or have to apply, the less likely you are to stick with any of them. So please try implementing just these two. Because what we're seeing right now in current 2026 is a real dip in code quality, poor architecture, fragile projects, and development hell. By intentionally slowing down, consuming courses, and thinking through problems, we stop ourselves from blindly throwing everything at AI. We actually read the code, we connect concepts, and we build those mental models that are very important. And that's the difference between someone who just ships code and someone who understands what they're building. So yeah, that was it for today's topic. Something I had in my mind and that I've seen a lot lately. One of the ways to quote unquote beat AI is to not be somebody that just writes code, but somebody that can contribute to a team and that can follow procedures that the team has set and that can just apply that to the code, which sitting through courses and tutorials definitely helps a lot in that sort of methodical approach to coding. Not just seeing programming as just code in a screen, but as something that is connected to different things and that has a human backbone supporting it and making it easier to work every single day. So yeah, that's what I had in mind for today. Please let me know what you think in the comments. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. See ya.